So I want to believe at the moment that my screen is now visible for everyone to see at the moment. So, like I said yesterday, that's okay. We've gone past. We've treated a pivot table yesterday. So, I want to believe that at least by now we are now familiar with how to perform pivot analysis. So, and which I expected everybody to have actually gone through the materials or the videos that we made available in the previous classes. So for us to practice, and also I shared the workbook with us yesterday so that at least we can actually practice what we've actually learned. So, and I made mention yesterday that today we'll be going straight to consider different VLOOKUP automation functions that we can actually explore in Excel. So for today, hope we should be able to cover several functions like the choose functions, the range VLOOKUP functions, the exact VLOOKUP functions, down to index and then match functions. So I hope we'll be able to cover that. That's what I actually planned for today so that we can actually round up for the week 4. So I'll be going straight. So I've actually gotten this hypothetical data from cargo data set. So in order to just demonstrate what we're actually going to actually do for today. So straight away, we have within this workbook, we have 3 different worksheets which has already been created. We have a customer code sheet, we have the international price list sheet, and we have the discount matrix sheet. So we'll be navigating through this to actually accomplish what we've actually outlined for today. So let's take now, first let's consider what we talked about. Okay, a choose function. So a choose function now, so let's say your interest is to develop a template to speed up the process of what developing a customer code. So let's say, for example, now you have a range of a list so of options. Let's say these are our range of list. Let's say these are the range of lists we have. Let's call this list a kind of maybe a levels of a particular variables. So now these are the levels of a particular variable. Let's say building core, data center, fiber distribution, main floors, and remote office building. So I want to believe that my screen is visible enough for everybody to see. So now let's see this list now. So, and then let's say we have given these installation locations. We've represented them with a code such that once you input those codes, so it will be representing what the building code. So, and also you want to actually, based on the provided location code that we have on this column. So we want to actually input what we have here in that order. That is, when we talk about when we talk about making use of a choose function function Excel, which is also one of the VLOOKUP functions, which is the category of a VLOOKUP function now. So that is, it choose function works by what? Retrieving a value. It will retrieve a value from what? A list. It will retrieve these values from what? This list. It will retrieve this value from this list based on a given what? Numerical value. That is, to retrieve this list based on the given what? Numerical value. So now, how do we go about this? So let's say we have this sheet for this current price list, and then sheet for this code, this set, which we're actually currently working on now. This is the sheet we want to actually use. So in order to use a choose function, you see, now I want you to know that, okay, already, if you look at this, this is already, if you look at the header, you see table design. That is, I've already given this and I've actually shown us how to convert a range or data to what? A table. So this table, which has actually been converted into what? A table. It has been converted from a range to a table. You can see that I just name it table 2. You can see the table name here. So let me go back now. So Now, what we want to see, like I said the other time, that okay, the way the chooks function works is it works by what? Retrieving what? A value from a list. This is the list I presented installation locational based on a given numerical value, based on this numerical value. So once we press and to make use of any functions in Excel, the first thing, like I mentioned in our previous class, I said you press what? An equal sign on your. So I think at this point, let me increase so that everybody can see my screen. Let me increase my slider. So just let me increase my slider. Okay, good. So I want to believe it's a bit clearer now. So for everybody to see. So now once you press an equal sign, let's take it off here within this particular cell. Sorry, I don't know what this is misbehaving. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, it's misbehaving. Sorry, let me try to close this Excel and open it again. Don't save. Let me close. Open. Okay. Yeah, it's working fine now. So now if you press equal sign and you press choose, you can say choose functions. And once you see the choose being highlighted, you can just press the tab key to accept. So it's asking you for what? The index number. So what the index number, what it simply means is that is a numerical or is a numeric value that is going to provide the position. That is the numerical value that is going to provide the position within the list. That is, it is going to provide what? The position within this list. So that's what it actually represents within this list. So in this case now, our location code now. So our location code now. So the list can be what? Up to the list we actually want to pick from, that is from this list. It can go up to let's say 254. Yeah, 254. So you want to say the index number, we are clicking on this. Okay, the reason why it's given at hello code is because you have actually converted your data range to what? A table. So once you specify this, and if you look at this, one thing I want us to pay attention in when we are working with formula is this. Once you provide the formula that you want to use, look at the next thing is expecting the index number. The index number is the first number that you are locating here. So once you click on it, you press comma, you can see it's asking for value 1. Okay, so you can come here and select the value 1. Okay, now and press comma again, value 2. This is your value 2. Press comma again, value 3. Press comma again, value 4. Press comma again down to your end of the list. Now you might be wondering that why can't you just drag from building code down? It won't work that way. So I'll actually do it the right way and try to do it the way you are trying to imagine at the moment, and so you can see the end product. Another thing, I remember in our previous classes too, so like that's why you have to follow each of our classes in order for you to be able to get some things. I mentioned when we were talking about different kind of referencing. We talked about the relative referencing. We talked about the absolute referencing. We talked about the mixed referencing. So at the moment now is that relative referencing. And what it means is that once you did not specify that, okay, you want to fix it, you want to restrict the movement within this, it will continue growing down. So what we want to actually make it to be an absolute referencing. So all this you can highlight them that okay, this should be absolute referencing, and you press on your keyboard your function F4. You can see now. Once you can see, you are seeing that okay, dollars, which I believe is not even need to every one of us. So it has changed it to it has converted from a relative referencing to an absolute referencing at the moment. Now you can see the before the rewards 6 we all actually talked about this what this cell is representing. Once you see K6, is talking about you are in column what? K, row what? 6. So alphabet number is representing what? A column, and any numerical number it belongs. So we've actually emphasized that before, and you press go, you close the bracket. Sorry. Then you bring your cursor to the end and close the bracket and press what? Enter. You can see it has actually auto-populated. The reason why it's grows this way is because, remember, one of the features of a table is that it automatically automates what the process for you. Not that it you have to actually autofill it yourself by double clicking, by bringing it to the edge, by bringing your cursor to the edge after doing it for and double click for it to auto populate for the rest. But once you are working within a table, it will automate the process. You already understand, such that, like I remember when we were talking about table, if you come to the last value here, you can see it's showing is showing that, okay, this I can automate. So let's say, for example, I insert another row within this, it automatically automate it such that every functions that exists within that particular transferred to that particular row by virtue of what it being within that particular table. So I hope that is clear. We've actually talked about table previously as well. So now this is how to actually use a choose function. You can see the power of a choose function, what it has been able to do for us now. Like I said the other time, we use a choose function when maybe it works by retrieving a value from a list based on a given numerical value. Based on this numerical value, it has actually seen that, okay, the first numerical value here is building code. Let's say, for example, I change this to 2 and press enter. You can see it has changed the value cell. It automates by saying this is a data center. So that is the way it works. It automates itself. You can see. So, and this is how powerful how we can use a choose function. Now let's say another thing, I want to populate this. So the next thing I want to talk about now is VLOOKUP. So and I made mention earlier that we have what we call a range lookup. We have what we call, which is also known as the approximate match, and we have another one that is called the exact match. So let's say from this our price list. Okay, this is a table. This is this is a data that contains price list, and we can see the item code. We have the long description, the short description, the retail price now. So now let's see, the first thing that I want to do now, I want to come to this category such that the way VLOOKUP works, that is actually called a VLOOKUP because the V represents a vertical. That is, mostly our data is being represented in vertical way. Our columns is on a vertical axis. So and I believe we want to know that this is a vertical. This is what we mean by vertical. This is a vertical. This is another vertical. This is a column. So let's say now our interest at the moment now, within this, we want to fix this category such that, okay, looking at the retail price we have here, we want it to actually be given a particular category based on whether it's in category A or category B or category C or category D now. So looking at this now, we want to actually automatically assign it if the retail price that we have here falls within $0 to $1,000. Assign it as A. If it falls between $1,000 to $10,000, assign it with code B. If it falls within $10,000 to $25,000, assign with code C. So if it falls above $25,000, give it code D. So this is what VLOOKUP can do for us. So, and how do we simply do it in this category now? So let's say we press an equal sign, okay, and we press VLOOKUP. you can see the function. Once it will show you once I press VL or VLO and I press what my tab key, it will accept that function. Now, please notice what is asking you now. It said lookup value. What is the lookup value? That is, which particular value do you want this particular do you want to look up? Now, you want to look up this price list now. Okay, you click on it, press what? Your comma. So it's asking you that, okay, within which table array do you want to look up this value? So you select our value. You want to look it up between this column cost and what description, what category. So once you select this data range now, notice we don't want it to exceed or to grow beyond this particular data range. So what we can do is to convert this data range. Now if you look at the referencing now, it's relative referencing. You want to convert it to absolute referencing. And I said how to do it, that is to simply press what? Function F4. Once you toggle function F4, it has changed to what? An absolute referencing now. So, and then to put a comma is now the next function is asking what is the column index number. So now within that table array now, you can see that, okay, the first column that we have here is cost. The next column we have for is description category. So by virtue, our cost column is our first, the column index number is what? 1. Why the description category is what? Is 2. That is, this is 1. Let me put it here so you can see this is 1, this is 2. Okay, so now we want it to look up what the column index number you should look at is what? The second column index number. You press 2. Okay, so we can see we've provided that 2 now. So the next thing now, if you press what? The next thing, if you look at this last function, which is talking about what? A bracket within, call it what? Range lookup. So automatically or by default, like what we are doing now, is a range lookup we want to do. So we don't need to specify that, because once you see that square bracket, what it means that is what is an option. So once you know that, okay, that's the default, we just need to close our bracket, okay, and press what? Enter. You can see it has automatically detected that, okay, retail price for 999, okay, falls with is within the category of what? A. Remember when I was grouping, I was mentioning the other time. So now, since we've done it, we can toggle it down for orders and click what? And double click. You can see it has automatically group this order data. This is how powerful and how the beauty of what? Of VLOOKUP. So let's say at this point now, let me undo, or there's something I forgot to even, let me say undo now. Let's say you can see now, you didn't convert this, or let me align this guy now. Let me change to what? Relative referencing. Once you toggle, you can see toggle around is relative referencing, and you press enter, it will give you the result for the first one. But once you tell it to grow, like, okay, replicate the same thing for others, you can see you are having errors. You are having errors within your data set, because this, if you look at what is happening here, it has grown to what? G4 to what? H7. Okay, look at this one now. It has grown to what? G5 to what? H8. You can see your data is shifting down. So now here is what? D6, what you can see what is happening, what is seen is going down. You can see what is happening now. You can see the data is writing now. It's going at G6 to what? H9. Let me take it off and go to the next one. See what is happening. You can see G7 to what? H10. You can see once you grow, you can see the error now. It has grown down. You can see it's taking a step downward. So, and that is why it is very important for you to lock it, that, okay, you don't want it to move away from this specified range, and that's why we locked we fixed it by using what? An absolute referencing. And how do we change it? Once you align this and what? Toggle and press what? Your function F4, it will change it to what? An absolute referencing. If you toggle again, it will give you what? This is a mixed referencing now. A mixed referencing in the sense that we are saying that, okay, you are locking what? The row, and leaving the column freely. That is, you are locking the row. You can see the dollar sign in front of 4, and that's why we call it mixed referencing. If you toggle again F4, it has changed to what? Is a mixed referencing. That is, it has locked what? The column and leaving the row freely to move. So that is what so you need to toggle it back to, you can see it has toggled back to what? Relative now. If you toggle it again, F4, you can see it is what? Absolute now. And you press it now. So that will correct for the errors that we had the other time. I hope we were able to get this process. So let me go back again to what I did here the other time. So remember, I said here. So let's say, let me undo, okay. Undo, okay. Let me see, come here. Undo the process, good. So you can see what I was trying to explain here the other time too. So let's assume that this is relative to, okay? This is relative referencing, okay? I change it back, toggle, and relative referencing, toggle back, okay, good. And you press enter. You can see what is happening now. You can see that it's going down to the extent that it's picking what? Total. So because you did not lock it within that particular range, so you can see, if you look at it, you can see what is showing that, okay, the reason why it's happening here. So, and the reason why it's giving 0 because there are no data here. You can see once you double click within that particular set, it will show you what is actually happening. You can see here, you can see that is the data is so you must, once you need to make your data range to be fixed, you must also make use of what? The absolute referencing. So let me undo, okay, and come back and lock it. Select the data range, then also lock it function F4. You can see, and press what? Enter. That's automate everything for you. That's giving you what? The correct thing you're looking at. And also, the disadvantage of this is that of using what? A choose function. Well, that's why the VLOOKUP function supersedes it now, is because now you have to specify the list. You have to specify the list one after the other by pressing what? Comma, the next value, comma. So let's say you have an item, because it can accept up to 254 items. So you have more than two, you have what's it called? Is that the way you continue doing it? It will waste time. So at this point, I don't want to be too fast. So I want to ask whether there's anybody at this point, okay, whether you have a question or there's a particular place you did not get, or you seek maybe more clarification on some of the things you're actually covering. Please, you are free to unmute now and speak, or if you don't want to unmute, you can actually engage the chat box so to have your question. Any question at this point? Please, I want to know that, just want to know that, okay, I'm not just speaking to myself. Please, you can unmute and let me, or you actually engage the chat box so that I can get a feedback. So feedback is very important. So there are no messages at this point.
None for now.
All right, thank you. So I hope that's the same thing for everybody. So I hope you are following. So now let me go again. So we can actually use VLOOKUP. So let's say we've talked about the range what VLOOKUP now. Looking at what from the range, the one I just covered now here is the range lookup. Let me just do it again and say VLOOKUP, type the value I want to look up. Okay, press your comma. So the data, the table array is within this table array. And I said, don't forget to lock it by pressing what? Option F4. Then specify what? The comma to column index you want to bring up is the second column index here. Then the next thing is what? You close your bracket and press enter. Then you double click to do the same thing across. Sorry. Double click here, it has performed the same function. So let's say I want to populate this feed also from this table. I want to populate this. So you can see on this customer code, we have this short description. Let's say my interest is that for each of these items here, you can see this item now is like a unique ID. So which the unique ID is also present here, the item code now. This one, it has been scattered. So you want to use this unique ID to bring, okay, for this unique ID, you want to see the shop description that was written for it here, that is from this place. You want it to automatically pick the value of that particular ID from this list and populate it here for each of this ID. And the reason why it has to be an exact match, that's why we want to use an exact match. The other time we use what? A range or approximate match. So now we are using an exact match. It's just like, okay, for example, you want to pick up your bank details, your bank account number now. So there every other information in front of your name, you want using your bank account number, which is unique for you now, to populate or maybe particular information you want from that particular your profile. So this is how to do it now. Now we want to populate based on this item code. We want from this international price list sheet to simply generate give us the shop description that is that accompanies it. So, and that's where VLOOKUP will actually do that for us, an exact match, because this is a unique ID that we're actually going to use. So to do that, we press an equal sign and press VL or VLOOKUP and press tab to accept it. So it's not okay. What value are you looking up? We are looking up this value, okay, and you press comma. Is asking you that which table array, that is, or which table where is your data, that is, where is the data you want to look up. You can come to this international price list, you can select it and highlight. You can simply select it by, okay, you want from this data, select this range, okay. Now press I've told us how to the shortcut key to highlight the old data. Press Ctrl Shift, your arrow key, that's highlighted down here, and then press your down arrow too. It has automatically select your data for you. If you look at this formula banner, that select the whole data for you now. Then the next thing, don't press enter, don't press anything, just press an comma. That is, if you look at within the formula bar, you can see what you are doing now. So it's asking that what is the column index. That is, if you scroll up, what is the column index you want to populate? That is, where do you want to pick up the value that you are actually looking out for? That is the return value now. So you want it at this short description. And if you look at the column that you specify, the item code is representing the index number is 1, the long description index number is 2, the short description index number is 3, the retail price index number is 4, the category index number is 5. Okay, so now is the column index number we are actually looking at is index 3 for the short description. You press 3. Okay, now since we want it to populate the exact information that we have for that particular ID, that is, you press a comma, is now asking you that is it an approximate match or an exact match. You select if you double click on this, it will select it. That is, once you select the exact match, it should change to false. So another way okay, let me fast forward it, and you close your brackets. You close. Okay, once you close, then the next thing to do is press enter. And see, it's because it's within it has automatically read up all this ID. You can see for this one, it has done it, it has populated it. This one, it has given it what the information you have there. You can see for this one too, it has done the same thing. So the reason why we are selected false, so let me do that again. Let me say undo. Okay. And then within this, instead of writing this false, remember when in logic, okay, in logic, now false represent what? 0. True represent what? 1. True, false. That is 0 is representing false. 1 is representing what? True. Let's say I've said is 0 now. It will still work, and I press what? Enter. It will still generate the same thing for us. So whether you say 0, because some place now, some school of thought now, you see them using 0. Some you say false, it's still the same thing. So once you press, computer understand it, understand the by bit that okay, once I see, just like on your most of not most of our power button, television button, you see 0, 1. So 1 means what? On. 0 means what? Off. Same here. False means 0. True means what? 1. So once you do that, it will do the same information for us. So, and one other thing, another way we can actually perform this is that, let's say I undo, okay, I undo such that you can see that it says international price list already. Like I said the other time, let me just delete what I have here. Like I said the other time, another way we can actually go about this is this. We can, if you come to this price list, okay, this price list sheet, you know, is at the moment now, yeah, is what is a range. It's a range data. It has not been converted to what? To a table. So let's say you want to convert it to a table, okay, such that you only need to specify, instead of specify the range of the set of data within that within the VLOOKUP function, you just want to call the name of the data. But okay, then automatically it's okay. This is the range of the data you are calling because you've already given it a name. And I've said several times in our previous class, you can convert a set of range of a data set into a table by just clicking, selecting, clicking within any cell within that particular table and press what? Control T. So now it's asking you that okay, my table, what's it called? That is, we are saying that your table has an header. So if you press what? Control. If you press what? If you press OK now, it has converted what? Your data to a table. And you can come to your table design and you can give your table a name at this top left corner. And let me just call it price list. But one thing, while naming your table, make sure that you are not using space. You are not using you are not using space between the name you are giving it. So let's say price. I'm calling it price. Let me just call it price. Let me just call it price. To make it simple. Okay. I've given it a name called price. Okay. So I can just come to my customer code now to perform the same function I've done the other time. Press VLOOKUP. Okay. The lookup value. This is the lookup value under the item code, comma. Now, instead of saying the other time, the other approach was for us to go to the international price list sheet by selecting it and to select the range of the data set. But already now, this data range now, we already assigned what a name to it. So you can call the name and price price. You can see it now. If you can see that, okay, there's an icon behind that price to show that okay, this is a data. You can see the sheet symbol within it. So you can press what? Your tab key to accept it. So press what? Comma. The index, we remember that, okay, the column index we want to actually populate the other time for the shop description is the third column. You press what? 3. Okay. And then we actually want it to give it what? An exact match. We press what? Comma again. So an exact match by coming down and tap or press what? Tab. You close your bracket and you press what? Enter. Same thing. Any question? Any question at this point? So if there are no questions, you can just engage the you can just react. You can just react. So for me to know there are no questions, and just for to know that we are actually following, so that I'm not just picking. Okay, great. I can't see Mr. Shegun and Mr. Ade. Are we together? So you can just react if you are with us. I just want to know that we are together, so that I'm not just I'm just not just talking to myself. Oh, great. All right, thank you. So let me proceed from that. All right. So now the next thing that I want is to actually do now. We've actually looked at what the choose function. We've actually looked at what the VLOOKUP function in terms of what the range VLOOKUP function, which is also the same thing as what the approximate match. We've actually looked at what the exact functions that is that under for VLOOKUP, but because within VLOOKUP we have what the range VLOOKUP and we have what the exact match. So now the thing is this. Let's say I know I've populated for the shop description. So based on the ID, we still have retail price, and then let's say the category 2. And let's say your interest is also populated. Let's now imagine that we will have up to 25 columns. Okay. So is it the same way you be coming to you after you are done with this shop description? Okay. You come to this category description, you type in your VLOOKUP function at the same time too, and do the same thing. You move to retail and do the same thing. It will take you, it might be time consuming, and it might not be an efficient way to work. So let's say you want to actually automate it. You know, there are other ways, like we can simply click on this and drag down. If this won't work, if you want to say you want to populate for this, it won't work. You can see it will give you what? An error. Okay, it won't work because it is going to be moving. It is relatively. So let's say, let me undo. So this won't work. And why it won't work is this, because of this tree now, which is telling us the exact location of what of the column in which we are working. So it has several limitations, and one of the limitations is this. Let's say, for example, now within this international price list sheet now, okay, you are sure that okay, this your first column, your item column. Now let's assume that you know that it won't change. So maybe by anything, nobody is going to insert, because the problem we have the problem of this VLOOKUP function is this. So let's say somebody else come, or there's need for you to insert a particular column between your long description and your short description. Now is the information is that is reading it, is seeing it as 3 here. So that is, it will automatically take the position of the number that is occupying that tree. So which will distort your data. But there's a particular way you can actually go around it too, such that there's another way you can go around it, such that it will automatically retain the position. It will automatically read the position, and that's why I want to look at what the match function now. I want to look at the match function. So the match function works this way. So let's say we want to read it by that. Okay, once it sees this sub description, to automatically give you the position. So the match function is a little bit like a mini choose lookup function that is given a particular value. It will go and look it up either in a row, that is either in a row or a column. So it is not worried about whether the data is in the horizontal, whether it's in vertical axis. So what it does is to find what the match instead of what returning with a corresponding value. So however, it will return the position within that column or row. So this is what we are saying now for match. Like I am saying now that okay, once you are using a match function, So it will automatically, instead of it bringing the what's it called, the information you have for that particular variable of interest that you want to populate, it will bring the location, the number of its location, like the three we are having here now. It will bring the location. So let me practicalize what I'm trying to say. This is, you say is 0. Let's say you want to put it here, a match. You say a match function, you price what? A tab key. So we are saying, is asking, okay, which lookup value? You should always lookup value. You want to look at the shop description. Okay, you can see, since we already convert our table and our data range here to a table, and that's why it's saying that, okay, the name of the table is what? A table 2, and is the header. So, and it's what? The short description now, table. So that's why it's just, that's the meaning of what you are seeing here. And you press what? A comma sign. So it's asking what is the lookup array? Okay, the lookup array is there, is within our international price list. That is, we are looking up at the header now. Okay, let's say this down to this. Okay, that's your lookup array. That is your price headers. Okay, and you press what? Your comma. Okay, it's now asking you that, okay, now the next thing now you can see here is it a less than match? Okay, or is that an exact match? So you want it as an exact match. If you double click, or you simply come toggle and press and tab it. So it's an exact match, and you close. Okay, and press what? Enter. 3. What is giving you now, like I was trying to explain, it will return, instead of returning the value, it will return what? The numeric value, instead of what? The content. That is already giving us, okay, for this short description that you are looking at, is on what? Is on what? The column index number is what? 3. You can see 1, 2, 3. So let's now come back. So let's say, no, the other time we selected this, let's say we want to grow it, we select it down to retail. You can see it has automatically detected that, okay, the category is on column 5. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Category is on column 5, whereas your retail price is on column 4. Retail price is on what? Column 5, 4 rather. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see. So this is how it works. Okay. So another thing you can do, instead, within your formulas here now, we want to, the essence of this, you want to automate, you are using a match. We want to insert what? A match function within what? Your VLOOKUP function. That is, you want to embed it. So where we have, once you double click within your formula, here that we are showing the position or the location, and we just clean it up. So then we want to make reference to this match. We have added this location that we've added the position of that particular data. You can as well copy the formula that you've inserted into this particular cell that you generated 3 into this, but it works better when you are making reference to the cell. Once you click on this, you can see now it's making reference to this particular sheet. Also taking cognizance of what? The formula that you have within that particular cell. Now, we don't want it to grow down such that once we press enter, and okay, let me press enter, you can see it's giving us what? The first one, but the second one is giving us what? A reference. That is the reference. It is the reference error. So one thing how we can correct that is this. And come here. So like I said, is the E4 now is what we call a relative reference. We want to change it such that we want to lock the row and what? Leave the column to be what? To move, because we want to shift. We are going to what? Or to fill it along the row. So you want to lock the column, right? You want to lock the row. You want to lock the row, and what? So that it will only move within the row. So and then the column, it can move within the column, can move from column E to column F, since that's the way you want to move, and from column F to column G. So now, and I said I've mentioned it several the other time, and that is the importance of those referencing whether absolute, relative, or mixed. So you press your what? Function F4. Now, what you have now is what? Absolute referencing. If you toggle again, because our interest is to lock what? The row and keep the column active. So press F4 again. You can see our we've locked what? The row. We can see the dollar sign in front of what? 4. That is, we have locked the row. So, and then we've kept the column active so that it can move from E to F, from F to G. And if once you press enter now, you can see it will correct itself. Now, another time, let's say you want to automate it. Once you want to hide it, if you copy down to this retail price, you are still having error. Why? Because if you come here within this formula, you can see that okay, the formula has changed. What is actually looking up now? It has shifted because we've actually shifted here. It's relative referencing. That location code is a relative referencing. It has moved from what? The item, which is our lookup value. Okay, that is this one, which is our lookup value. It has shifted to what? The location code, because it's relative. It has shifted because we've actually shifted what? A step by one step. So, and that's why it shifted to what? Location code. So, and that's not what we want. But for this, our effort, you can see that, okay, you can see that you didn't jump from, well, what's it called? You didn't jump down to the next row. You're still working within that row and what? Just shifting within each column. How can we go about this? You can press what? You can escape, okay, and press maybe undo. Okay, how do we go about this now? We can go about this by going by traditional way in such a way that if you copy this cell, okay, and then select this place you want to paste, these two place and these two cell, and then right click and say paste. You want to paste it as what? You know, I talked about different ways of pasting the other day. You want to paste the formula only. If you click on this formula, you can see it has automatically detected that column now. So everything is working what? Perfect. It has seen that, okay, if you double click within the cell, it has stayed within what? The what? That same column, the price, this, and if you press escape, okay, come to this place again, you can see what is happening. Same, it has remaining in that particular place, and what? You only paste what? The formulas. So once you paste the formula, it will paste the absolute what? Referencing of that particular cell. So I hope is a bit technical, but with much practice, it will become part of you, and you can use it in your day-to-day, maybe in order to query your data, in order to check for the effectiveness. Another thing is this: probably you want to share this sheet with another person. You don't want the person to be seeing all these 3, 5, 4 that you've actually used to identify the location of that particular column that you want to look up from another sheet. So you can actually align this and what come to your what home bar and just say, okay, since the color, you can make it what gray. So you can see your formula is still working, but your value is still there. Can see you've seen it, but another person who has no knowledge will not have known what you have done in the background. Okay, there's something actually you are actually keeping there, you are hiding for others to see. Just like maybe your cheat code now, you don't want anybody to see the magic you've done or what you've done within your data. So you can hide those particular key areas that you've actually highlighted. So probably you want to print this data set now. You can print it for someone. To that particular place you have actually hidden, it won't reflect there. So, and that's how to make use of what? The match function within what? A lookup function. That is, we've actually embedded it. So I hope I want to get comment at this point. So I hope we are following. I could see some persons have left at this point. Understand, he explained earlier that you won't be able to stay to the end. Okay, so any question, comment at this point? Hope I have not bombarded us with so much information tonight for us to digest.
Yes, the VLOOKUP is quite technical. That means you have to go We have to go over it again. If you watch the video, try
Yes,
and go over it.
exactly. So it's actually technical. So, and you need to go over the video and practice. Like I said, if you leave this thing, you didn't practice, it's as good as you not attending today's class. So you need to practice. Then once you practice over and over, so and the thing is this, like I said yesterday, that you definitely have different data, but for your ability to actually transfer these ideas that you've actually learned to actually interact with the data we are working with at that particular point based on what you want to generate at that particular time. So you're like, okay, you've done this several times. How can I apply the knowledge of what I've actually learned here to a particular data in which I'm trying to query, in which the data I'm trying to get some information from? Is to actually know this thing. Don't just cram it or just, okay, this is this. Understand it, understand the logic behind it. And like I said, one way to understand it is that once you press each of those functions, it will even give you an hint of the next things, just for you to know what you want to do. Like the other time, is asking you for the data array. Do you know that, okay, what he's talking about, the table array, he's talking about, okay, the range of his data set that you want to look at for. Okay, now asking what is it? It's just like as if you are telling, okay, you want to buy a drug. Okay, he's not asking you now, okay, you go to a pharmacy now or to a doctor, and you ask them, you said you are not feeling so well about some things. Okay, now they will now tend to ask you to run some diagnosis on you. Say, okay, since when? What have you taken? Or on me? Or for how long? Or how are you feeling? This is the same information is asking you. Is that okay? What you want to do? You still be able to tell me what you want to do. What do you want to look up? Which number do you want to look up? Okay, you are looking up this number. Okay, from where do you want to look at this number? Okay, this is the data, this is the, just like you know what to do. The only thing is that you want to reduce time or spare yourself some time of looking up all those numbers. Okay, you are not specifying the data range in which you want you to look up, look up that information. It's not asking, okay, which column do you want to return that particular value that is you said you are looking at? Okay, is on column 3. Okay, you are returning that place. Okay, do you want what you are looking up? Is it just maybe from that range, or you want an exact of that particular lookup value, the exact information of that particular? As you give it to, and then automatically help you, and just like a computer now, just like a robot, it automatically fetch that information from you for you. So I won't want to stretch us further tonight because I'm sure I've given us much information. But if you don't mind, there's this one other thing that I would just like to add. So which will that's what we call index match function. That is a combination of what index and match function. Let's say I want to make use of this other sheet. Okay, the advantage of this index function is that it can look up a data, whether you have your data in horizontal, whether the information you want to look up is on the horizontal. You can look up that horizontal data and to give you the required information, or whether it's in column, you can do the same thing, or whether it's in a matrix. That is, this is what we have, like a table like this is a matrix, the information you want to look up for. So let's say we have this particular matrix, a discount matrix now. So now you want it to, for this discount matrix of we have discount category, we have category of customer category. So whether your customer is in bronze category or silver category or gold category or platinum category, or your discount category is across this. So let's say you have customer C. Okay, you have customer C now. Is in this kind of category of C, and is in customer category is silver, just like I indicated here. So you want to, okay, we want you to automatically bring what's called the discount category in which you have. You can see just the matrix customer C, discount category C. The customer category is what, silver. It will give you 7.5, and you just want to automatically let it pull it up. An index function will do that for you. You press what? Equal sign. Okay. And you press what? Index. You can see index function. It's now asking you where is the array set of data that you want to actually look at. You select the data. Okay. Now press comma. You say, okay, what is the row number? The row number now, let's say we are looking at row C now. C is on what? Row what? Is it not row 3? Row 3, comma. The column number, the silver is on column what? 1, 2. Is column 2. So now, close your bracket. Give me what's called the discount that is available there. And so automatically it will give you what? 7.5. Okay. So at the same time, if you want to automate these things, you can insert what? A match function within what? And what? Within an index function. This is how we do it. Let me double click on this now. Instead of this tree that we have, I clean it up. I placed a match function inside it and press my tab. So it's saying, what's the lookup value? I want you to look up this value that is here. Let's say here now, because I would like to change it later. Lookup value and press what? Comma. So the lookup array, that is, this C is within this array. Okay. Press what? Comma. I've already given them a name range. That's why it's now asking what? I want an exact match. Come to an exact match and press what? A tab key. And what? Close for this. Okay. It will work. So let's say this also you see it will give me that particular value, but I'm not yet done. Let's say I want you to look up what? The column 2. I'm using what? A match function. A match. Press tab. The lookup value, I want you to look up at this what the column of silver category. Press a comma. So the lookup array is on this what? Whether bronze, silver, because I can toggle between them and change silver down to platinum, and press and close your formula. Okay, and press enter. It will automatically give me what? 7.5. Let's assume now that, okay, I want to change this category now. Is the data validation which we've done that I've actually done here. Let's say I want to change it to B. Okay, you can see the discount category is what? Is B. Okay, and the customer category is what? Is silver. What is there here? Is what? Is it not 6.5? Let's say I want to change the customer category to, let's say, gold. What are we expecting to gold now? We are expecting 8.5. Let me say gold now. Customer category B, gold. We are expecting that's 4.5. Okay, sorry, I selected, was it bronze? Okay, let me say bronze. It has changed. Let me see the formula. Okay, so it will change. So that's how we can actually work. See and change, it will change, and bronze to change to what? 5.5. C, and is on bronze to what? C, bronze. It will change to what? 5.5. If we change this one to A, that is A, and is what? Bronze 3.5. Let's say we change this guy to silver. It has changed to what? A, silver. A, that is, you can see 5.5. So this is how to use what? A index match function. So this is where I would like to stretch us beyond this. At least we've covered enough for today. So, and then but at this point, if you have a question, I think I see. Okay, can you share all data you have been working with, please? Okay. All right. So I think I'll share. I'll give us a data to work with. So I'll share this data with us after this class. Then I'll send a particular. Okay.
Yeah, about the index match function. The way you start